Good evening, everybody. This one just starts with me saying good evening, which is very odd. I don't know what to do with myself. There's normally an intro and things like that. How's everyone doing on this Sunday morning, Saturday evening? Look, there's wet stuff.
They said it couldn't be done in Space Engineers.
And they were kinda right-ish. But it can be faked. And in a vaguely convincing fashion. Well, one thing I have noticed, the old beach noises, quite loud.
Yeah.
I mean-
It's about the right volume, though. I mean, for real life.
Where is the margarita? That's a good question. Well, yeah, we have... I know Shaq's played around a little bit with this on his Sunday Survival series. We obviously, with doing Vanguard, are a little bit distracted and can't just randomly mess around with mods as and when, because it doesn't necessarily make sense. So we figured with Tex off being Firefighter Hero Man, we should maybe take this opportunity to mess around a bit and actually have a stream where we can talk with people in chat. So yeah, we still got Spacebar and Farrell. The usual crew, there's just not a Vanguard in sight. This is one of those famous away missions, I think, and nobody is in red. I'm orange. Not red. I don't know why I'm wearing this suit. Yeah, having not messed around with that mod at all, I figured we might as well take the opportunity, mess around a bit, maybe build ourselves some stuff and see how it works.
Are you suggesting
no, really?
Are you suggesting we actually dive right in?
Perfect.
Funny thing is, it hasn't showed up for me yet.
Can we
There
blow
he
it up?
is. Yeah, thanks, Baseball. That's just what we needed. Oh, there we go.
I like how it was submerged in the water and then still wasn't putting the fire out in the back.
Yeah, I think there are going to be some limitations to the water mod. One of the first ones we should probably talk about is the distinct lack of any form of swimming. It's definitely,
Well, I mean, we're wearing how much spacesuit gear right now?
suppose. Yeah, okay, fine.
You know, heavy magnetic boots, giant tank strapped to our back,
Yeah.
lots of heavy bulky equipment.
Alright then. Next bit.
Ooh, a fish.
Turn on your jetpack. Explain that one.
Yeah.
Get out of here, stalker.
Hey, I found Nemo.
Really? I never found a fish. I was looking around for one for the screenshot.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now.
Interesting. I guess that's.
Get out
That'll
of here,
be
stalker.
client side then.
Client side,
Roger
yeah.
that.
Yep, he just disappeared too.
Although at the same time, I mean, I like the fact that the sound effect changes when you get underwater. Whee! Slightly jarring when you leave the water.
Well, that's because the water actually has viscosity, amazingly enough.
Well, more the no indication that you're getting in near the surface whatsoever until you're out a bit outside of the depth
Yeah.
gauge.
It's like you don't really see the top of the water when you're underwater. I noticed that when I was walking in.
So as I understand it, your hydrogen tanks are your buoyancy, and your collectors are your ballast. So if you want to do ballast being important for submarine stuff, that's how you can change your ballast underwater. As I understand what he wrote, basically you turn on a collector and it'll just naturally fill up with ice if you're in the water, and that's how you do the ballast. No visual waves. I believe there is a wave effect in the physics, but the waves are obviously not in any way visual. Test confirmed.
Yep, tank floats.
Really, we're going to be those sort of people, are we? Where the very first thing we discover when we know that things can float is we throw everything in the water to find out if it floats. Does metal block float?
What about
Nope,
what
metal
about,
block does not float.
What about really, really big rocks? Churches?
How long before this bay is entirely filled with just floating hydrogen tanks for no good reason?
I'm having to fight myself just from wanting to do an amphibious car a la Top Gear style here.
There is an argument. That was one of the things I was thinking about, whether or not we did some challenges this evening or whether we just messed around with it a bit. Figured things out as we went. One of the ones that crossed my mind is to do that Top Gear episode where everyone's got to take a vehicle they've made and convert it into an amphibious car in a way that it can convert back and forwards between the two modes. Then I thought to myself, hang on a second, all I've got to do is take the outside wheels off the Spider, put hydrogen tanks on it, and I've got it. It's certainly kind of unfair. I kind of already have one that does that. Everything containing gases can float, including modded. Now, one thing I did put on, because I was intrigued, is how do hover engines respond to it? Do they know the water is there?
I don't think they will.
I doubt they will, but...
Kind of want to try that, though.
And apparently wheels float a little too.
Oh, what is the name of that block that I can never
That's
remember
not
because we never use
water-based.
it? Oh, collector, yes. Now I remember. The most useless block in Space Engineers.
Okay, so wheels do float a little bit, which immediately raises the question, if you're going fast enough, can you drive across the water?
Well, of all the vehicles that possibly could, the Spider would probably qualify.
Would probably be the one. Okay then. Stage number 1. Testing wise. I regret putting this mini-map mod on. Because it just announced in chat constantly.
Yeah, that is a bit silly.
Vice space bar. That's more James Bond car than skipping your RC car across the lake, I think. Your problem is you don't have enough wheels. I know a man that puts enough wheels on.
Bye.
Okay, well, being able to fly does change it somewhat, but still.
Oh, that didn't work.
I don't remember ever seeing anywhere in Space Engineers be this flowery.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. Like, those... It does not look like normal grass. And I don't remember palm trees either. So I bet some of this is modded. Oh, we got a modded planet. That's why.
We have got a modded planet. I just didn't realise he'd done anything with the textures.
Yeah, looks good though. Where's my elephant?
Now, ideally, I need a nice flat run up for this. We don't want to hit it at an angle.
Oi,
What? I had no part
you
in it.
know what?
Yeah, it looks like there's some custom texture work done on this planet, because it actually looks quite good. Not only that, but I don't remember the sand texture being that good either. The beach texture.
Oh, I didn't take any blueprints of my ice racers.
No, that is what we call sinking. I mean, that is 100% not. In fact, this is what we call driving on the bottom. Yep.
This is surprisingly stable.
The planet is called, highly inventively, Planet Water.
No.
Mm-hmm. It is one of the only planets on the workshop that I could find that had actually been designed for the water mod. Because you can imagine, while this mod does let you just randomly add water to the world wasn't really designed to have water randomly added to it, and trees under the surface are really quite jarring. The lack of, like, beaches of any sort, because you just randomly popped it in at a depth. You notice in this one, you go underwater and you get sand and then rock. And that's it. No weirdness underground. I mean, if you remove it, you can see it's very clearly been made to behave like that. Well, now you see, this immediately raises questions of dry docks.
You're anticipating we're going to sink something and you need to recover it.
No, but I'm also thinking, like, while we're in creative, I'm still keeping a sort of mindset on what it would be like in survival.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what you're going to want to do is find a way of building a ship on ground and then lowering it in, you know, I say on ground, on a surface that's above the water. And then removing it from underneath.
You know, I'm actually thinking about something here. You could set up a pretty interesting game with the wheels.
Yeah, I just noticed. We got water football, or water polo, I guess. Is that we got?
Because that definitely still kept going until.
Oh yeah, I'm
got
watching it.
stopped on its own.
It's about to freak out a little bit when it gets near the edge, in my experience. Oh wow, no, it's actually being carried up the voxel somewhat. It's also very. Oh no.
There it is. It actually got deposited on the
It got
beach by the
deposited
water.
on the beach.
Wow.
Which is interesting because that's also showing that there is a bit of an ebb and flow along the edges here.
Like
Yeah, it's been picked up
again. Nice.
Which I believe we can change with the wave value. That'll be the wave value. It's just very hard to see it visually because it's such a small movement.
That means you could actually recover something properly out of the water, wait for the water to
Water to
go
actually
up
lift
and push
itself
it
in
ashore.
and then drive out.
Yeah, or just like wait till it floats again, and like so, and give it a push. Bada bing, bada boom, out of the water.
Neat little addition. Obviously, the actual rendering of the water visually is, I think, being done as best it can be, given the game has literally no support for it. Guess it's overlapped projections in some way, or overlapped safe zones maybe.
All things considered, though, it's still doing a good job.
You have to attach it to something.
I remember seeing Jack work on it, but I don't remember like what he did to make it work. Oh, I need thrusters to the other direction. Stop.
Yeah, ideally I think you'd pick somewhere with a really deep draft quite quickly and have some sort of hingy door mechanism. Almost a la Alice, ironically. Yeah, it's very much like the water mod in ME, apparently. Oh, we'll test the wave settings, but first we gotta build something to put on the waves. And I'm probably, rather than building a dock to begin with, maybe I'll go and build something to actually sail first. I mean, one cheaty option would always be just to do it on, give it hover engine, so that when it gets near the side, you can just go, and bingo.
Oh, hang on. I know how to go test on this thing. What am I doing building this?
The water adds a huge amount visually to, I mean, again, the world we're on has been modded to make it fit a little better with the water as well. You know, the beach, trust me, without these beaches, it looks very different. But it doesn't look quite like it belongs, to be honest. If you mine at the bottom, it does fill the space, but that's because it's literally filled everything below that point in the entire world, including, if I go into spectator camera and go down here, you can see I'm actually underwater, under the terrain. It goes the whole way down. Well, we've got the atmospheric mod on. That's the thing. Or did I put plane pots on and not put the aerodynamic? I put plane pots on and didn't put the aerodynamics on. There's no point to that, wasted.
And splash. Immediately into the water. I saw that, Feral.
Yep. Well, for some reason the hovers aren't really working very well. Not exactly sure why.
I think the reason for that is the hovers actually do some voxel detection for how they work.
Yeah, but even when I get down to the ocean floor, it's not working. I think it might be something with the blueprint, though.
Either the blueprint or maybe something to do with the fact that viscosity starts messing you around as well.
No, I really meant to paste. Oh, where is it?
This seems to be working pretty well so far. Of course, I don't know if I have too many. I guess the next question is, how many tanks do you really need?
I don't know. You tell me, Spacebar. How many do you really need? Are you overdoing it?
I don't know. Probably on this little thing. Yeah, no, it was.
On a scale of 1 to 10, just how jank is the water? I'm gonna give it... If 10 is maximum jank, given how you phrased it, and 0 is minimum jank, I'm gonna give it a 4? Surprisingly unjanky.
Oh.
Oop.
That was
will be the shore, Mrs. Spacebar.
Yep, land sea interface has gone wrong there.
Oh, I don't have any spare planks.
Going to get in on this thing. Actually, no, maybe it might float on the wheels. Hang on.
Do they have storm effects? I should be able to... stuff. I can't remember what the blooming weather commands anymore.
You can do that in the F10 menu as well.
Can you? Oh, that's
The
easy.
admin, yeah.
Oh god, admin menu, not that F10 menu.
Yeah, sorry, the admin.
I just pressed F10 without thinking about it, and I was like, what's it called? Thunderstorm. There you go.
That's a no.
Ooh, do paddle boats work? Probably not.
Ah. That's all we needed.
What? What on earth?
It's back.
It's your Viking boat from...
From the
Can
ski
you,
lift, yep.
can you at least hide them a little better?
No, I can't. That's the problem. The tanks are so big on a small grid that you can't hide them. So,
There's the smaller hydro tanks too, though.
yeah, I could try that.
You guys can't see what that is.
Last seen blasting off the side of Alpine Cliffs, and now happily floating on the water like a proper boat.
Of
I
course.
was hoping the wheels at the bottom would give me a little more buoyancy, but these missile engines are working really great for propelling it.
That's going to be way too much buoyancy, isn't it? Why do I suspect those little tanks are going to be garbage?
Hope not.
Well, I was about to say they were fine on what I was doing, but mine's not very big.
I will be playing with those wave height settings, Big Ol, just as soon as I've got the aerodynamics on to play with as well. Because in my mind, there's no point doing that without the ability to crank the wind alongside. In fact, I can't help but feel like that should be a goal of ours, I feel. Find out what it's like when you... or try and make... Oh, hang on a second. Spacebar. We can do in this what we could never do in Scrap Mechanic.
Paddle boat?
The aerodynamic mod adds support for rudders, which means it by default must also add support for dagger boards, center boards, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you can make ones that use wind, and you could also probably make a paddle boat, but I was thinking you don't even need to do that. You can make full-on sailboats that function.
Mm-hmm.
Just like on this thing, I could actually turn this into a working rudder if I stuck the thrusters on it. And used a gyro to, or a, actually gave it a rotor to turn it.
Oh, thank you, Real Time Commanders. And that's actually a tricky question. I feel really bad for the United Nations. It's so easy to think MCRN and support what you'd think of as the underdogs, the ones that got shat on so much. But I don't know. But kind of because of that, I feel
Get
like
out of here,
you end up with
stalker.
the opposite, where you've got blooming United Nations in a position where it's impossible to look good.
Why almost every game where
I suspect for that to work, spacebar, you will want to use the wings, and we might need the aerodynamics mod.
Yeah, probably. Why almost every game crushed my dreams of being a steamboat pilot or captain. There, I'll fake it. Yeah, I don't know about this minimap mod. That's kind of a... Okay, goodbye boat.
I definitely see its value in space, maybe not so much on a planet.
It's so majestic.
That would be a no.
Okay, so how sort of amount of these do we actually need? More than that. Roger that. I'm back from the depths, my friend.
Oh shit! Oh, look out! I don't
Hey,
have control
Farrell.
over it.
Bye, Farrell.
No. For some reason, I have no gyro authority over this. It also doesn't float on the small tanks. Really doesn't float on the small tanks.
I wonder if it's because you have gaps, maybe? But you have to have the gaps because of the wheels.
Well, the other thing is also the tanks only spawn in half full on creative, so they're not piped up to be able to fill up. So
Good point.
also, I
Good
can
reminder.
shed a little bit of extra weight off this design.
How to build this in the most impossible way? Could you make it any harder for yourself? Let's do it underwater, why not? While adding and removing buoyancy. That's easy. That's almost perfectly balanced. Oh yeah, we have those, don't we? Thank you, Colin. Relative dampers, those are a thing we have in Space Engineers. It's easy to forget, alright? When you're not using them.
Ooh, yeah, it takes like sets of tanks to get any buoyancy out of the small ones.
Well, as you said, though, do remember that they are slightly imbalanced in that respect. Okay, so extend it out a bit. Pay attention to how spaced out the ballast is in the bottom. And then get a whole rack of these tanks at the right height. Right in. Is it an update? No. Don't expect Space Engineers to ever come out with... You're not suddenly getting yourself a water update to Space Engineers. This is one I don't see them ever adding. That was empty for a reason, wasted.
The water noise is nice, but that's a bit annoying after a while.
It certainly adds up. You get it kind of compounding, and then you're like, yeah, okay. But then, I mean,
It's bringing back fond memories of many a summer for me.
not unrealistic in that respect, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly. And yeah, Farrell, I know what you mean about summer holidays and so on spent by.
Okay, new problem.
Now what?
No, I've managed to get it floating. Definitely fill up your small hydrogen tanks if you're going to use those.
Mm-hmm.
But now I just have to figure out top heaviness from the sail. I think I've got an idea for that.
The other thing I seem to be hideously out of practice with is using mirror mode. I just don't even think about it. I've spent too long in survival recently. But you can actually adjust the water volume. Nice. W volume and then a number from 0 to 1. Ah.
Oh, that's much better.
As will. Hang on a second. Yay. Still a bit high in the water. Not that I expect that for a second to actually matter. It's just not going to.
Really, boat? It does not like plane wings as sails.
It doesn't like solar panels as them either.
Might work a little better if we actually had the mod on to enable that, mind. Know what I mean?
But I think my problem is the tanks are filling unevenly as they go for some reason.
Like yours,
Like
for example, Spacebar. It's like the wings aren't going to do anything, are they? They're just going to, if anything, they're just going to resist.
Mm-hmm.
Spacebar speedboat.
Yeah, apparently it's more of a speedboat now instead of a sailboat.
Pleasure craft.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Full endurance. Oh, let me guess. I don't know.
Did I just get a collector out and not eject it, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Seaweb. Well, keep an eye out for that. Apparently you got to watch out for leaving your connector running, because it will literally fill you with ice.
Ooh.
You actually got anything that works, yeah, Farrell?
Well, no, apparently this thing is atmosphere capable.
Bye.
Wasn't really the goal.
No, it wasn't.
It's very majestic, though.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Just doesn't float very well.
Sploosh.
I mean, it kind of floats.
That's fun. Now I
just
want to
need
build a
to-
submarine.
I just need to address the, yeah. And the fact that it wants to go crab any chance it gets.
Definitely a bit rear heavy.
Ooh.
This is going to be a case of just whacking stuff in the front for the sake of whacking stuff in the front for weight, isn't it? Oh yeah, I think there's plenty of carriers already. Oh, I wonder if I could... I bet you I could repurpose the Apollo in about 2 seconds. If it doesn't actually already float. Oh yes, it looks awesome. Please float. Well, yes, not with your engines on.
Oh.
Let's have a look.
There we go.
I think the answer is not quite, but I bet you I could get it to float without too much difficulty. Stop driving around over me. Get out of there.
Oh, yeah. You're up in the air.
What was that? There's definitely an urge there for the completely submerged. Heli base here? No, surely not. No one sees anything wrong with that. Oh, what's happened to my music? Also, there appear to be bits of ship floating around above me. What is that? It's wheels! There's a collection of wheels above me. And a Farrell at 1 billion miles an hour. And underwater.
Yeah.
Graceful.
It tends to. It's kind of in porpoise mode at this point. I can take it down, and then I can take it back up out of the water, and I can, if I slow down, then I can actually be on the water. That's slowing down. That's a bit of a problem. I guess I do actually have a bit of a submarine right now.
Oh god, oh no, we're alright. I thought for a second it's only just had enough stuff over. Yeah, I think it just needs more tanks. Position some tanks on the, basically replace those hydrogen engines. Hydrogen thrusters with a tank on each one of those, and it might just be alright. Although it would... It's kind of built upside down. You kind of want the 4 pads it's got the other way up. So that then your runway's not underwater. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be what's wrong.
What's wrong, Mr. Farrell? What's
No,
troubling you?
Apparently I did manage to actually damage the prow on this thing. Which realistically then caused the front to not part water very well, thus I sink.
I did find your ship's head in the water over there.
Yeah, that would be why. Okay. Good to know.
That's a fair point, actually. Given the resistance factor that the water has, maybe an underground runway is a way of slowing down. I'm thinking a catamaran-style carrier Dragon. Yeah, I'm going to finish this little boat I'm on, and then I might flip the pods on the Apollo the other way up, so that it kind of lifts itself out the water on 4 legs. I think that could be kind of cool. If it wasn't for the presence of a couple of slight outliers, like we've got our campfire here, little boat pulled up at the beach.
A Viking boat next to it.
Yeah, well, that was the outlier. Viking boat with a turtle head.
Wait, we're supposed to be doing something like realistic?
Mm.
I play Space Engineers. I don't know what realistic means.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
What would Marek think?
Well, remember, this entire scenario is impossible in his mind, therefore, he wouldn't think anything about it. I'm sure he's just eyeing it happily as potential DLC option.
I really doubt that. There's no way water mod fits Marek's vision. The Marek vision is all-encompassing, remember?
All encompassing of what he proposes of nothing. There is no plan.
I was more thinking all-encompassing of Keen.
There are no plans for plans.
Well, I mean, when you look at the Sparks of the Future stuff, all you gotta do is just look at the workshop and the extended version, because the official version does not run well openly on lower end systems and mid-range systems.
Oh, but they're about to get on Xbox. It must run well.
I think maybe that's why the weaker version exists. Alright, we're going to end up needing this. We should probably do it now while we've got the chance.
As long as I keep it to about 30 meters a second, I'm pretty good with this.
How many knots? Can't be using meters a second here, Farron. It's knots we use here.
Okay, hang on. I'm one of the Americans in the stream here. I can't even handle metric system. You want me to start converting over to knots?
Yeah, please.
You play Atlas, you should be used to that.
No, in Atlas, I measure my speed by elephants pooping over the side of my ship.
That's true.
Oh, this is much more stable now. Still wants to go under the water a little bit, but... I reckon I got myself a nice little speedboat here.
Clearly, to get a good-looking ship out of this game, I'm going to need some practice. It involved... I mean, I already kind of knew this. I've tried to do ship hulls and prows before, and they're really hard with this number of angles. I remember a certain ship in a certain series that was almost finished. And then you run into these corners, and you're like, and then there wasn't a block. It's gonna sink like a stone, you reckon? stone go? Decidedly un-stone-like. At least you're not trying to do it in glass. Yeah, I suppose there is that.
Oh, if only we had the mods for that on, I'd try it out.
Once for what? Gonna have to
Kerbal
restart.
Space Engineering.
Hmm?
Guess you gotta imagine the rockets would make pretty good torpedoes.
I'm pretty sure we have the torpedo one on for making torpedoes. Does that not fit the bill well enough for you, Mr. Farrell?
No, I was just thinking it would have been funny to just plop one of the, whatchamacallits in. One of the, rockets in, see what it'd do.
What? Okay.
What?
Nah, nothing. Just was looking over building, and then I out the corner of my eye, I see a gigantic ship spawn in.
Nah, you saw nothing. Nothing here, nothing at all.
Sounds likely. Yeah, we might put the armor extension mod on so that I don't get quite so frustrated as well. Yeah, see, Mr. West didn't leave himself good spots for his thrusters either. Maybe he did.
What the?
Nothing too confusing there, I'm sure, Mrs. Spacebar. Well, you gotta have a proper propulsion system.
No, makes sense.
Does the Lotus impact the seafloor? Probably. Willing to bet we've got a reasonable chance.
Yeah, that would actually be... The impactors would get slowed down, they'd all cluster together, actually. It'd be probably more effective. Because they're all going to get slowed down when they hit the water.
Yeah, it's a reverse props. That's a reverse prop. So, yes, that should actually function like it looks. Lucas already has NPC pathfinding on water figured out. Ideal older phone. I want to do a Water World series. Blistering. I mean, it works, that's a start. Okay, weirdly, this thing is crazy stable. Like to the point where if I turn, I'm almost struggling to turn because it wants to go in a straight line. Still riding a little high. Whee! You mind? There's people on these waters. Jesus.
Farrell got his large boat floating.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, though, you don't really set much of a land speed record with a ship this size in the lake.
Can't possibly imagine why.
You got something big enough there?
No, not big enough. I gotta get the missile tubes on it still.
Doesn't look like it's floating great either.
It's kind of a bit powerboaty in the water, you know.
Also sounds like occasionally you're hitting the ground.
I was about to say,
Could
it sounds
be,
a
that
bit
was-
explodey too.
There's a little bit of a narrow spot of lake back there. But she stops on a dime. Kind of.
Hang on. The water boating might not be bad. You realise that this means that you now have, with the removal of just one catwalk, a drive-in bay for my ship.
Yeah, that's not too bad actually. If I could get the back to float a little higher, it would be just right. Or I didn't really include much room for this stuff in here, but I might be able to. I'm guessing oxygen tanks don't really seem to lend much to the buoyancy.
They don't know. They do add some, but they're a lot less powerful.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Actually fit already. Oh no, not quite. The prop.
There we go.
Because I don't really have a way of stopping in here. We'd need landing gear on the side or something. Running away. Ooh. This thing is not very quick. Yeah, seems about right. Just neatly chop it in half. Ah, that's more like it. Proportions look a little bit more suitable now as well. Yes. Do I really want to burn up my buoyancy? Ideally, I'd pipe it in, but I don't exactly leave myself with a good way of doing so. Clearly, what we need is racing pipes. Those are a thing. It's really not very much faster. Oh.
Hmm.
It had lost its thrusters somehow in the copy paste.
Weird.
Yeah, that's more like it. Steering the boot. Yeah, less ship in the water to go faster, however, results in ship looking considerably less realistic. Oh, and hydros don't work underwater.
They do. They really should, because that's what I got in this thing, and they're all firing, and they're definitely at least half in and out of the water.
Wait.
Hello? No, why do you want to be upside down now? You have all those batteries on the bottom. Why?
So why am I not going down? Am I just too buoyant?
It's because all the ice we're full of.
So in order to oh wait, there we go. Maybe.
Oh, awesome. There is a row of heavy things inside the keel. But, yeah, clearly not low enough, and, yeah, turning the collector on. So doing hydrogen-powered boats is going to be difficult, because balancing that ice versus... You're going to have to make them buoyant for when you're fully loaded. And then just get used to the fact that as you burn it off, you're going to get even more buoyant and get, like, out more and more out of the water.
So do you need cargo containers to store the ice to be to sink, basically?
That's basically it. Yeah, the collectors pick them up.
And so it needs to put it somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, people in chat were just saying that screams mini sub, and evidently that is exactly the plan.
Oh, mine? Yeah. Yeah. Taking inspiration from my Lego set. For the most part. But yeah, mini sub. I just don't have anywhere to store the ice, which is what I'm putting on the sides there, the cargo containers.
Yeah, really cool.
Now let's try it.
I feel like we need to start sneaking little wheels onto the bottom of them as well. So you can, at least with Spacebar's design, it looks like it should be able to like actually push itself on the ground a bit.
Well, my rear is sinking at least.
That's where the collector is. Yeah, as Chatter pointing out as well, you will also need a method to get rid of the ice too.
So like ejectors?
Something along those lines, yeah. You need some way of burning it all, you know, so that you can go back up. Whee! Barrel!
Yeah, there's another problem with the ship is trying to do torpedoes on it. It's going to be tricky. Because the angle I'm in at the water right now, I'm firing uphill.
You have control over that, both with your gyro and...
Yeah, it's hard to kind of keep it like proper level there.
Yeah, you really are rear heavy, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. And that's even adding tanks all over the place in the back to try to lift it up a bit. I think the problem is the more that you lift the front end, or bring the front end down, the less tanks are in the water in the rear, unfortunately. To be honest, what I do need is
Weird urge to say something about smell of napalm in the morning.
Oh, I need to see is if I can push myself down the water a little bit.
Look at the mess we've made already. I'll be back in a sec, guys. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Right, you guys want to reload and stick some more mods on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get the wind mod on, and then maybe if there's some other bits that might help with what you're doing, Spacebar, I don't know if shrinking some of it down might help. Some of the packs have got mini collectors in them, for example.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm actually going to put my collector in the middle.
Nice one, Dustin. Thank you very much, dude.
Alright, I think I'm gonna seriously do some smaller grid work now.
Get out of here, Stalker.
Well, that's one of the reasons, Selector Key, why I want to put these mods on, is I want to see what effect the aerodynamics has here. Clearly, the mod does recognize water as a physical object, because that's how the rudders work. So, in theory, I see no reason why lift shouldn't exist still. Yeah, I fixed it on. Anything else we wanted on while we were there? Let's think of anything else we wanted on while I'm here, or... I need to clear up my mods at some point. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the load time. Yeah.
Not just the load time, but also trying to find anything in it now is completely useless.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm back.
Ah, yes, remove the minimap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool as it is, that one's one for space. That, I mean, for PvP, that would have been amazing. But for this, not so much. More annoying. Armor extension. I don't have it. Yeah, I've got it. It's in the quality of life pack, which makes hydrogen tanks very volatile, so I don't think we want to put that on.
Is there not a version of the AQD that doesn't?
There is. I don't have it.
Oh.
I don't normally use it.
Yeah.
Let's see if the in-game browser does anything useful.
Probably not.
I thought it was AQDs.
That's what I thought too.
It's armor expansion, not extension.
Expansion. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the torpedo things. No, they weren't on. Whoops. Oh, they are on.
Yeah, they are, because that's what he's using on the turtle boat.
The other option would be, what were your tanks called, Spaceball?
Slim line or slim hydrogen and oxygen tanks.
Because they could be kind of cool for this. They have the right sort of look.
Yeah, they'll fit better on the small grids too.
I can grab the. Let me grab the mod ID.
I've got it. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Alright, because we used it in KSP. KSE, rather.
Indeed. And muchly useful it was indeed.
Hmm. That one may be the G menu thing may be broken.
It doesn't need a guidance mod, guys. In fact, torpedoes in my mind aren't guided. I know they are these days, but you cannot make anything like as far as things like sort of air tightness and all of that stuff is concerned. The water, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist. You can't block it out. It's completely unaware of where structures and so on are. I have seen the Akranoplan. I'm not sure I could recreate it from memory, but yeah, I am familiar with the Akranoplan, yes. And thank you, Gunzak. No missile guidance block for the torps. That's part of the difficulty. You've got to be able to hit with them. Right. Let's use
Get out
this
of here,
as-
stalker.
that one as a test platform.
When you reload the world, make sure that your vehicle is in a safe parking spot in case it sinks a little bit.
Mine was on land.
There we go. Now it's level in the water.
How do you raise and lower a sail into engineers? You're just going to have to turn into the wind. There's not going to be any way of doing that, is it?
Take that, trees.
No, but what I'm saying is, air tightness is a thing, but last I checked, it was not aware of where it will not remove the water from an airtight room. Oh, sorry, it might remove it from an airtight room. It won't remove it from a sealed room. It may be that because air tightness detection is one of the most straightforward ones. It doesn't actually add very much load at all.
Looks like your tanks are all here, spacebar.
Maybe I fixed them and don't remember. That's probably what it was.
When you get that many of them.
Oh, I guess I did fix them because we were using them on KSE. It's not hard to fix, just kind of a pain to do. I'm getting a little bit of a lag.
That's probably me opening G menu and so on.
Oh, right.
Because we're freshly loaded up, it's going to be doing it again.
Alright, because why would that keep it in menu? Or in memory, rather.
Not important. Not important. It's blind. Okay, hang on a second. Come on, Wasted. Calm down now. You want to make a ship that immediately tips over? That's into it. Well, the other thing I should do, if we can... Where's Spacebar's tanks of awesome? Ah, yes. That's better.
Which end were the ones that had the actual inputs on them?
The ones with the little nubbins. Hang on.
Yep,
See, yeah. I really should have made those yellow, conveyor yellow.
Sudden maximum buoyancy. No, there's more variants in my block list. I'm confused. Not only that, but Nenra is the one that moves one of the variants to back to where it was on a different list, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The half one. Which is something I got used to. Yeah, at the moment we have Mr. Spacebar working and reworking a small Lego themed underwater research vessel? Question mark.
Yeah, exploration sub, yeah.
Spacebar equals the Explore.
And
that.
some grabby arms. So I can grab samples.
Gary Arms, roger that. And Farrell has made... I don't think he made this. I think Farrell has got out of his collection from somewhere a monstrosity that looks a bit like a boat already. And
Nope, that's fine.
No, out of your past collection rather than...
Hmm.
You did not just whip this up just now.
Nope. No.
He cheats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it is full of eels, and it's not, is it? It's not a hovercraft either, it's a submarine. Whereas I originally made a sort of, I don't know, very military hulled speedboat sort of thing to see what works, and now I'm messing around to see whether or not I can get a boat to move using wind and a rudder, because that sounds like a great plan. And that's a bit much, but that's going to be a bit little, isn't it? Oh no. No, that's about right.
Oh, I really wish they'd fix that tool bug, or the pop-up tooltip thing, where it shows the block even if you're not holding it.
Why did we put this armor station mod on? I now can't find anything. Wasted makes a sailboat really, really obviously at too big a scale right off the bat, but he's going to do it anyway. No. Oops. Of course, how to actually control this sail is another question. For which I have absolutely no answer. You kind of need to be able to control the sail angle using the mouse wheel, I figure. Alright, before I go too far with this, a few things need to be checked. Yeah, that's simple as all hell, but to be honest, a lot of rudders are. They're just a flat board. Well, I like that idea. Gyro on the sail and remote control. We go up there and we gyro it around. That's not a bad idea, and then we keep our limits set. Yeah, nice thinking, Akrima. Use the torpedo threat. Yeah, I did think that that's an option, Joaquin. I have no idea how it's going to work in the mod. I feel like we should have some sailing music. I have sailing music as well because of Atlas. So, sailing music immediately. Especially as there is a distinct lack of any music, which is not acceptable. You lot, open.
Well, that's special, Keen. I've somehow phased through the hull of my sub and gotten stuck in the side.
Yeah, I've been having some weird issues like that as well.
Yeah.
It's probably fine.
And I can't spectator teleport out.
That's weird. Oh yeah, see?
I'm stuck in there. I can't get out. It doesn't want to even let me move from that spot. I was underneath it, and then suddenly I was inside of it.
Oh, space engineers, you are very special sometimes.
Okay, it's cut and paste time. Get out of there.
I think I need a sorting script that will balance.
Yeah, there is some. I remember seeing one. I remember seeing one of
Council
those that we
tanks,
got
yeah.
for groups of Kerbal.
Was it Icy? Or Izzy, rather?
No, I don't think so. I think it was one of the guys we knew.
Yeah, let's see. Where's Ice Balancer?
What the?
And the wasted said that they were light. And there was light. And it was, oh my god, the horror.
Yeah, I've got a small grid phased into the ground now.
What, because I changed the time of day?
I don't know, but all of a sudden this thing wigged out and it's half in the ground from me right now.
I think you're cursed.
Yeah, I was kind of afraid that was going to happen. Okay. Need to beef the kill. Yeah, Moloch, I think I'm going Blood Wolf. I'll put a small speed on the front shortly. Once I got the first sail sorted. No, I'm not going to put a small speed on the front. I'm going to put a jib on the front like there should be.
I have to say the handling. I used to run the full speed. I really like the large handling sails in Atlas now on schooners. Just
Okay. What's super heavy? As far as this mod's
super
concerned.
heavy?
It already is heavy armor.
Batteries would be heavy. What about the artificial mass blocks? Oh, I think they kind of nerfed those.
A jib, what's the cut like? Strong. I approve of it. Like the cut of his jib. Because it's got a jib instead of a small speed sail. And small speed sails can go away. I'm going to use batteries because it'll let me fit them. And no one will see them if they happen to... Ooh, look. What?
You might want to turn heat off.
Why?
I'm up to 5.7 heat in the water.
Oh.
What?
I was building up heat, moving around in the water.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. I've got a submarine, but boy, is it loud. These prop blades are not quiet. It is not running silent, run deep.
Oh, what was the name of that script for the ice?
Hang on. No, I'm moving backwards.
Oh, Lucas has one. Ice distribution.
Let's help myself out and get myself in a good position with the wind and see if that makes any difference. It's a fairly flat nose so far. Guys. I need more wind.
Beans.
A spacebar goes by underneath.
Yep, that was me.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough.
Yep. I've actually got a respectable sub going on here. Takes a little bit of down angle to keep her going in the water underneath it, but it should bob to the top when I stop, but and when I get bored of diving, I can go for a little bit of a fly.
Okay, well, I'm definitely getting blown sideways. Oh, the wind's moved. Come on, I need to see forward. Is that forward motion? Is that... I'm going forwards with a sail in Space Engineers. It going forward very slowly. But I'm actually going forwards in Space Engineers under wind power.
Looks a little sinky to me.
I'm getting some really bad desync.
Alright, let's see if we can steer.
That's a pretty massive kill you got going there.
Yeah, it's kind of needed.
Hmm.
Quite a lot of weight on the
Wow.
top, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a lot of weight.
I mean, at the same
You
time...
might be able to use the blank, or not the blank, the plane wing parts to fill in some of the light armor. I don't know if it's lighter. or
weighs
not, but-
exactly the same.
Hmm.
At the same time, I am going forwards using wind. It is directly behind me, which is potentially cheating. I need it on the side of me for that to make like complete sense. The island is moving faster with tectonic shift than that boat is moving. Look, leave me alone. Look, the
Lining up
wind
for a
speed is
torpedo attack?
increasing and the boat speed is increasing. Our turning rate, however, non-existent. Spacebot, could you do me a favour? I would care for an increased length rudder below the waterline.
Okay.
Ow,
Do you want to just
you're
have a
dangerous.
regular box?
Yeah, I'm not bothered what it looks like. Just
It'll be fine.
give me more. That's a good point. I need to turn my gyros off. They'll be fighting. Whoa! I turned. Ish. Yep. I'm going straight into the wind. Yeah, can you shorten me up again, please?
Okay.
I think my gyros were stopping it from working. Of course, again, the problem now being
Get out of here, stalker.
straight into the wind. But I mean, you can, to fix yourself from this, what you do is you back your sail into the wind and turn at the same time. And I don't have to go and stand on the front of the boat and actually hold the bloody sail while we're doing this. And it is actually turning me. Right, rudder in, flip the sail around. About there.
Dun-dun. 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 Con sonar, I have target acquisition.
Bye.
Okay, so basically what's happening at the moment is it's just getting blown sideways.
Ow.
Okay, the way
I'm shooting
in
at
theory to
near
fix
you.
this is...
Yeah, no, you definitely blew something up on me. I'm shooting under you guys.
It's just a rifle.
Right, this is literally just doing experiments now to see how much attention this is actually paying, and the answer is none whatsoever. It's speeding up. So the wind applies underwater still.
Yeah, because I'm getting it blown along with you. Which kind of applies as just underwater current at that point.
This is what happens when you skip early game text in Civilization. You've built yourself a yacht. However, you have no understanding of how a yacht works, and so it's now going sideways. The only thing I can think of is upping the water resistance to the point where it's almost stronger than the...
Wow,
that's not
that's
the
some
command.
lag.
No, the wing pieces are literally just visually different, guys. They take exactly the same requirements to make, which means they weigh exactly the same.
Ow, ow, ears, ow.
What?
That sound glitch is still a thing with the propellers.
Well, then use the propellers then.
Kind of in a sub. It's kind of my thing, you know?
Make your own propellers. Nah, still going sideways. That's a flat no. No. When the water exerts no force, specifically in relation to its size like that underwater, when the wind is overriding it, there's nothing you can do. It's always going to end up like those two forces need to be balanced together.
Why is it always that back right corner that sinks?
Yeah, I think what people are forgetting, chat, is that the keel serves two purposes. It serves the purpose of ensuring that the ship is upright and has a heavy weight at the bottom, but it also serves a secondary purpose, and that is, as you're travelling through the water, you are reliant. The only reason the wind doesn't constantly, when you're positioning the sail, blow you in whichever direction the wind is going, is because this provides so much resistance in a very specific direction in the water that the two forces work together. And you always have to have those. Everyone who's sailed knows that you're very unusual to get your sail at a complete straight angle. As soon as you go cutting to the wind, you have to tighten it up. And part of the reason for that tightening it up is not so that you get more wind in the sail. It's so that the interaction between the sail and your keel transfers the force properly. The keel is pushing against the water the whole time, meaning that this force doesn't just push you the direction of the sail. The keel corrects it and forces you to go, translates that force into one that forces you into go in a straight line. And that's the effect that causes sailboats to tip over. It's the force essentially lost between those two interactions. Last background song was called Mighty Rush 5. Not very helpful, I know. It'll be on Epidemic. If you search Mighty Rush 5, you'll find it. Displacement's a different effect. It's still relevant, but a different effect.
There's a really weird noticeable lag when I delete something right now.
I'm getting a fair amount of lag too. Not bad, but
place a block as well. It's weird.
Okay, well, to cover the question, as people are saying that's the issue, let's get rid of these batteries. A copy of that's somehow magically landed the way up it has. Oh, I can't just put it in the water, can I? Yep, now which direction are we going? It's almost behind us. This should be the perfect scenario, and we're still just going sideways. It's not that we need the water resistance isn't calculating the physics in the same way. Basically, you would thinking about this. What you'd essentially need is two versions of the aerodynamics mod running on top of each other. You have a version of the aerodynamics mod that is modeling air, and then you have a version of the aerodynamics mod that is modeling water. And the two have to interact with each other. You need forces generated by both. As it currently stands, there is no force from the water that works in the same way as the force from aerodynamics. Yeah, the old search terms still work, though. I assume that's DE. But yeah, the old search terms still work. There's something kind of fun about coming back to base and seeing the hull of a boat, like, blow its way along the shore.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, game. I can place it on the other side, but why can't I place it over here? Really?
No, true, Ben. There's a lot of bits that don't help, but I'm feeling that the fundamental force you need to make this whole interaction work is
The
missing.
game is confused with subgrids.
Okay, now the input lag is really bad. It's like 3 seconds for me. What? I'm gonna restart. Something is not happy.
Now's a really bad time for me to get flung to the beach wind. Just saying.
Oh, I see what you mean. My FPS, like everything, feels really kind of the.
Yeah, it's not.
That is a very valid place to place that block, station engineers. Why are you fighting me with this? I can place it on the left side, but why can't I place it on the right?
Able. Typical ways to stream. John's building something overcomplicated while explosions go up in the background. Yeah, that's because Farrell's all on.
I'm not blowing anything up right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it spacebar this time?
No, I'm fighting with atmospheric thrusters to actually place.
I'm proving you can't build a helicopter with a standard rotor in Space Engineers, which also means you can't build a propeller. Or, you know, a proper underwater propeller.
Aye. I kind of already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I
confirming.
am discovering that I'm struggling to make rudders work. Because what they distinctly don't do is turn you. Yeah, this feels to me very much like mostly what you're combating is weight. And if there was a block that was super duper light, like impossibly light, because Space Engineers has a bit of a minimum, then I'm going fast enough for the ride, I'll have much effect. Alright, well let's test that. Don't have gyros at the moment. Wait, get underwater, you. Oh, damn it.
It would help if that wasn't lagging out. Still moving pretty fast considering it's got a missing plank.
Okay.
Did that just right itself?
Yeah, I removed the thrusters from underneath that from on top that I put on in a stupid place, and I'm now placing them in a sensible place.
Okay. Well, I fixed up what I could
I
on the
say
front,
that.
but there's still a rather sizable. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Happen to. What the heck did? Neutrally buoyant, so it shouldn't have. Hmm. All right. I'd like to report a missing sub.
How do you lose it?
I don't know. It's buoyant. It should have gone and stayed right on the surface, but it ain't here. Where are you, you little? What the heck?
The wings don't make any difference, guys. With the way these Drago's aerodynamics works, there's no difference between a wing or anything else.
Well, apparently as a submarine, it is doing very good with stealth. Very good.
Okay. I've worked out at least. Yeah, the sail thing doesn't work. The mechanics for that don't exist, as far as I can see. The interaction is missing to make that functional, but the interaction for a functional rudder is definitely there. So I feel like we should probably think about making ourselves some race boats. And I'll give you the advance notice that to make the rudders work well, you want to give them a really limited travel. It's not like you think. Don't make them turn much. You turn them too far, they stop working properly. At least on my design, I kept turning it up and I was not doing anything. And then as soon as I turned it down and stopped it early, it's doing loads. The gyros are turned off and my hand is not on the mouse. Nah, chat, I think the answer is twin rudders. Oh god. Yeah. Battles it just same this rudder controlled boats with rotor controlled turrets on the front of it as well. Oh, just for the full keyboard shenanigans. Have zero control over anything. Howdy, Capac.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, that's an Enra mod. I mean, as cool as an Enra's AQD stuff is, I haven't used it enough, and the extra blocks are just throwing me off big style. Hey, Capac, if you're around, you're welcome to join us, mate. Alright, I'm trying to line that up. I'm wondering why it's not lining up, and it's because it's one of the new blocks, so it's never going to line up. Have you won Gargle Blasters this evening? Lovely. Alright, chat, where in an Emra's mod does the one by, like, the bit to fill that in live? It's not in any of... Oh, there it is. It is in some of the menus. Don't worry, chat. I found it. I love how it's just letting me get away with building this, even though it is 100% not connected to anything.
Okay, this has got to be the weirdest thing that I've ever done. But it kind of works.
What have you done? And what is it that you have done? You're being non-specific.
Well, I mean, I've got a rudder and I'm using a thruster for thrust, but no gyro control or anything.
All right.
And it's working, but because a rotor doesn't have 3 states that it can exist in for an angle. Natively,
On-off is what I've been using.
Yeah,
And just set your extents and try and toggle it at the right time.
No, I'm just wiggling my tail like a fish, really, honestly.
Yeah, there's been a bit of that.
Yeah. But it is working. Because I found on-off, the rotor was still trying to swing freely, even with the braking torque turned way up.
I really, really hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to bail. I'm just so exhausted this week.
Do it, Spacebar. Never apologise for that, mate.
I'd
rather you be around having a laugh than feeling like you got to push yourself through it. Go do the thing.
I was hoping a 2-hour nap today would help, but I don't know. Just it's seasonal allergy stuff. I think is bothering me this week.
Well,
Let me turn the lights off.
not too horrible, man. And yeah, don't feel any guilt over that. Chat knows the deal. I know the deal. It will be all good. Barrel, who cares about that guy?
I think I may just sit around. I think I may take a break from everything tomorrow and just watch stuff on YouTube.
Recharge, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people could sympathise with that at the moment, to be honest, man.
Yeah, I will see you guys later.
Take care, dude.
See ya.
See ya.
Just you and me now, Farrell. What are you going to do?
I don't know. Try the rotor thing, but I don't think it's gonna work here.
Oh, a little space bar. Okay, that hinge needs more torque apparently, and some braking torque to go with it. There you go. Say that. Should probably just get some velocity, baby. And then hinge and rotor in a group so that I don't turn against myself, because I never want to press those buttons out of sync. So remove, remove, remove. It doesn't actually have the torque to hold itself either. Wow. That's going to be a problem for Farrell, because he can't turn the torque up this high. Maybe up that a tiny bit. And we need to like majorly increase the speed of the first rotor so they're a little bit more in sync when I press the button. Well, she's hardly sprightly, but she's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a turning radius the size of a small moon, but...
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
I can't really tell if putting more of the rudder under the water helps or not, but...
That's a no.
And putting more of an angle to the rudder doesn't seem to help much either.
Nope. No, that's not the trick, it seems. But you just need to find the right angle rather than the maximum angle, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it seems like 20 degrees is doing pretty good.
Oh, I've just found a bit of a trick by the looks of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, if you... I mean, I'm not sure you're going to be able to... I don't know. You might not be able to manage it, but I've managed to get mine to the point where, depending on how fast I'm going, and I reckon if I balance the braking torque a little bit better, depending on how fast I'm going, I can get it to straighten out, basically. That was better on the full strength, wasn't it?
I'm just looking at this big mass of flap at the back of your thing, and here I am over here with this dinky little stick.
Okay, it's the rotor that's letting me down. The hinge is what you got to use.
Really?
The hinge has got way more torque, basically.
This doesn't feel like it's a torque issue on the rotor, though. I mean, on my end, it's holding up fine. It's not getting batted around or moved.
Tweak. No, I did it on the rotor again, didn't I? The hinge torque tweaked down slightly. so it straightens out as well.
I mean, I'm right at this point. I'm getting just enough of a sharp turn that I'm even seeing the hull cant over in the water a good degree.
Wow, those hinges are so strong.
I gotta see. There we go.
Is it still doing the collector thing? Ah, damn it. I know what it's doing. Blueprint, sorry.
Ah, okay. I'm like, suddenly I'm thrusting, and I see the wake just stop behind me.
Yeah. Yeah, that did not make it any better. That just made it a lot more clangy. Land the boat.
That was some booming.
Yeah, there might be some hinge clang.
Ah.
Little bit. Just a little bit hinge clang. Mr. Hinge, why do you ignore your limits? I'd say to you, go to these limits and you ignore me completely. Why is this? Ah, because the current rotor rotation is down right now. We're good, we're good. Okay, it's over talking, I see. Don't know why this other one isn't, but it is.
Flotation.
Well, that's some pretty good speed.
It's not surprisingly too hard to at least get some speed in these boats.
Doing a good 30 meters a second. Or easy automation or something like that for this would be perfect, Jakaria, I think. Something to make sure that you've got a better control over the rudder on it. Would have been even more needed had the sailboat idea worked out, but I think that's not a thing. Whoa. Well, that was straightforward. I fixed the turning problem.
Hmm.
Put another rudder on.
Hmm. Right, I'm game for that. Let's see.
Blueprint. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was wondering why the boat was hovering in midair.
And then time for...
Get out of here, stalker.
Sorry, Michael, I was concentrating. Brain melty a bit. You know how it is. Yeah, I think that's fine. Couple of wings just there for posterity.
Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Come on!
I put a second rudder on and now I'm getting airborne instead. Doesn't really work that well when you've got gyros on board.
They're off.
Gyros.
Now, the only thing I can think of with that is to make it work would be to have that on a rotor as well. So it sits at a different plane.
I mean, it's impressive that I'm getting so little drag in the water at this point that I've dropped my weight enough that that is a problem.
I see no problem with this. Come on! No, it's just slower than it was. The front does rise very slightly. Not by enough. Solution. Nope.
I think I'm actually managing to skip off the surface of the water here. At least that's what I think, and then I don't, but then I do.
Clearly, I need more thrust. Roger that.
Yeah, I'm working off of the atmospheric torpedo motor.
Oh, right.
That seems to be doing pretty good.
Cheating!
What? It's a jet boat.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes some
She
small
can-
difference.
Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely such a thing as turning a little too sharp. This is a little bit of a problem.
God, this thing is hard to drive. Yeah, way too hard to drive. That's a beach as well. No, we'll clear it. We're good. We're going 90 knots at the moment. Roger that. I'm fine with that, I think. It is almost impossible to drive because the turning's so reactive that I can't drive in a straight line whatsoever.
If you think that's fun, try using your boat upside down.
Mine doesn't go upside down because it's the right way up.
No.
Yep, we're gonna have to meet back up again for a bit of a race, I think. Drag race around, I don't know. Are we on an island? That would be handy. I mean, technically yes, but it's a really big island. Oh, what did you do with that? You had a hydrogen tank with thrusters on it.
I removed it when we were starting to have lag issues.
Because that actually makes for quite a good buoy. Set up a buoy in the bay, a buoy out there, and run like a figure of 8 race round them, 2 laps or something.
Yeah, quick and easy enough to do it.
Although I am going to be back in 2 secs before we do that. Quick bio break. Try and put thrusters on the rudders to help with the turn? I don't think it will, Blaze. Subgrid control script. Huh. Ah. Oh. Hang on. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Only you could still attach stuff to wheels. Trackers, park, piston and rotors, keybinds. You can put the rudders all into A and D. That sounds an interesting one, Shane. Let me have a look. Because easy automation will do it, but easy automation is not. I mean, it's relatively easy to set up given what it can do. It's not easy to set up otherwise. Piston and... Yeah. Okay. That's a nope. Oh shit. A little faster than I remembered.
Mhm.
Hang on, he's painted. What? What? Oh no. Actually had to think about that for a second.
What?
Also,
The red goes faster?
No, to paint the block. I can hear my PC like spinning up to paint the block.
All right, we'll do that then. The irony of this is the same hull that I started off with tonight, basically.
Well, kind of the same, to be honest. Like, really quite the same. Where's your two-stage? Rudders, eh?
I got them. Don't need ridiculously big rudders like that.
I said two-stage. Look,
Nah.
they've been twice. Or twice the turning or something.
I actually found that increasing the angle you're hitting with the rudder makes the turn worse on this boat.
Well, I found that on... I said that to you first. But I did find that adding the extra stage behaved differently.
You know, either way, the real business here is managing to keep it in a straight line.
1 second, I realised I forgot something.
Oh yes, the big racing spoiler.
Mm-hmm. Of course. If it'll let me place the damn thing, because its placement blocks isn't where its position block is. Now all it needs is the words razzle dazzle written down the side.
Look like a reflector off of a bicycle.
That's your own fault. Oh, glad to see someone else remembers that episode, Mark. Did you put one out at the sea as well? Ah, yes. Lovely. Okay, so the only final thing is, normally we'd have... There we go. There we go. Because in your sailboat scenario, part of the game is trying to hang around that line and be making a run towards the line as the race begins with the wind already set, etc. Rather than, you know, because you can't just line up at it. And being stationary is not as good as being moving.
Okay.
I'm not saying we should do that, but... Also, I need some appropriate music. What is appropriate music for a boat race? Sure, there's something like Beach Boys, which I definitely get copyrighted for. Oh, I missed a second trick. Missed a second trick. It should have some hydrogen engines. No reason other than to make it make the noise. And look like it's got an engine in the front of it. There we go. Elevator music, something like Black Betty would be a good choice. Actually, I do have some stuff along those lines, don't I? Yeah, to move to the line, Mr. Farrell, or we're just going to start here?
Yeah, we can try to move up to the line.
Hey, that's pretty good. You got any braking thrust? You do! Can I have some braking thrust, please?
Yeah. You have reason not to. I mean, it's not doing any steering.
Is that acceptable? I did not know, and I do not. I will just drift forever.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's doing any steering or anything, so why not? If anything, it helps you if you're about ready to crash into the beach.
Dampers off, though?
Yeah, keep dampers off.
I think that's keeps it nice and manual.
Damp to line up, but then turn it off. Yep.
Alright, I'm warning you now. Just so you know.
Can I make one other suggestion? Turn block damage off.
Alright, yeah, we can enjoy the hilarity that is just... I mean, the collisions alone will be terrible.
Yeah.
There you go. Damage is off.
I figured that way we're not ripping holes in each other's ship.
The harpoon mod. Now we need to do Waterworld for real. Next community stream is going to be a Waterworld stream where I make everyone build like mobile bases, and then we're going to have to go around and try it. try and take out each other's mobile base with your squad. And it'll be obligatory for whoever's getting attacked to yell, "Smokers!" before anything happens.
I'm just even trying to figure out what a jet ski would look like with this.
You'd have to use the that Sanshin mod that gives you the tiny seat.
Mm-hmm.
Might chill off my turn a tad.
That might surprise you.
All right, we good?
Mm-hmm.
Given I got host advantage, you want to count us in?
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Where is he? Oh, he's close. Oh, I think I've got a tiny bit on the top speed on him.
Yeah, I'm sitting around 43 right now.
I'm
When I did the
47.
When I did the turn, it started to flip me over. 43 is pretty much my top speed.
Going wide for the turn. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the arse. I'm underwater. I am officially underwater. It's not good. Going too fast. Barrel also appears to be underwater. Oh God, what's happening now? Why did it just flip me upside down? Why is it repeatedly flipping me upside down? Help! I'm now flying.
Sounds like the same problem I was having, where if you take a turn too fast, you go over. Like I am right now.
I don't know which way. I don't know which way is the right way. I think it's this way. It's not. I actually traveled a bit in the right direction.
All right, I've crossed the line.
Damn it.
After that was actually, there's a lot of turtle and hare there actually, because I was having problems. I came in and I turned far too early for it. And then when you turn too sharp on this, it definitely wants to flip me over. It almost feels too like instead of trying to do a full power through the turn, you gotta have to kind of goose it, stop it, stop it.
I think I know my problem. Yeah, a bit of that. There is a distinct potential that my spoiler did not help.
Yeah, a little top heavy. Yeah, that would certainly explain things.
Okay. There was another thing I was going to do. I can't remember what it was. Damn it. Oh yes, now I remember. To the starlight. And I'm on the rematch.
Okay. I'm on my way back. Second lap. Alrighty.
I will admit I had a singular motivation for this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't turn my rudder without twisting the entire ship the wrong way. I guess that'll be fine. Oh, we do need to have a water ski jump. We need to introduce a jump into this at some point. But I did have an idea before that.
Well, actually, I guess if I put wheels back under the boat, that would work. I mean, I'm just thinking of just what typically happens with most ramps in Space Engineers. All right, you ready?
No. No, I need to just. The whole point was I needed to do something first.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was a sandstorm. Whoops.
Now
Yeah.
it looks like the lake is boiling off. And now that just removed all the water.
That might have been a bit much. I'm gonna wait a sec. You'll see.
Okay, let's just put that back up, right?
Might have been a bit overkill.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it might have been a bit much. I get you.
No. I mean, I pasted it in and did a drop on it without my jetpack, and it decided to land on it, and as a result, flip it over again.
Oh god, I know why I'm spinning around when I get into the air. Because as soon as I get into the air, my rudders are big enough to work as like legitimate rudders in the air as well.
Mm-hmm.
On a positive note, it's kind of fine as long as we're moving. I get a bit sinky if we're not.
Yeah, I think that's the wave action, because you go down a bit and then you start going back up a bit. And then the game, in my case, decides that there's some sort of big...
You say that, Farrell. Have you
somewhere
looked
that
seen in my direction?
Yeah, you're going back up, technically. Just at an extreme angle, that's all. On mine, it's doing this annoying thing when I start rising back up that it just starts splash, 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 splash. For no reason.
You know what? There's another problem here.
Hmm?
You can still see far too much. There we go.
Oh, I see what you're going for here. You're going for the, well, if they can't see who won. The question is, can you see the start line even line up off of it?
No. I can do some wicked sick jumps though. This boat just doesn't work in the waves.
By the way, also point out lightning. It's gonna make things interesting.
We can't be damaged, remember?
True.
Well, I'm not going to have long, Farrell. You ready?
Yep.
Count us in.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, great. Turned over.
That's so much a drag boat that it has to be moving to not sink.
Okay, there's definitely something weird going on here, because I can't even keep my rudder hard over the ball anymore. I think I just start thrusting and it's immediately... And then I immediately start sinking and turn over. What the heck? You know what? Beacon's over there. We'll go that way. Except now it's gonna... Okay, I have no idea what's going on here, but I'm getting I can't even. Second I turn, it flips me over.
I don't know.
Like it full on subboat almost here.
Oh no, I'm doing the Atlas thing at the moment, whereas I'm driving along, I'm going underwater.
I mean, that's basically what I'm doing at this point, but even that doesn't work very long because then all of a sudden it stops and the whole front end sinks down and tries to flip itself over, and weird. What the heck with it, block damage is off. I'm flooring it. I don't care if I'm scraping along the bottom of the ocean floor to get there. Yeah, now I'm airborne. No, we're near the water. I'm up right now.
Yeah, it's a bit weird for me as well. It seems to be a byproduct of the waves somehow. I don't know.
I like flew halfway up the mountainside. Okay, little boat, can you just even get in one direction? That's the near beacon, that's the far.
I don't need more buoyancy, I need more go.
Nope, the second I apply any thrust, I'm over on the water. Alright, the other way.
Oh, I know what's happened to my end at least.
Mm-hmm.
I've used some of my hydrogen up.
Yeah, but I'm not even using any hydrogen.
Having removed my collector, I'm not regaining it anymore. Somewhere out in... Oh, there appears to be water in the boat.
Yeah, you're going submarine too.
No, I am parked up next to the finish line. I've done 2 laps.
Mm-hmm. Whereas I can move... I didn't even give it any thrust that time and it still flipped over.
To be fair, mine just flipped and I was just standing on it stationary and it's now stuck on its side. Now it's rolled back up again.
Yeah. There's definitely some weird effects the weather's having here. I basically just have to reverse thrust and hope that I can pull out of that, flip back up out of the water and then flip over as a result.
I think you'll find it a lot more amenable now. I've just chilled out the waves.
Wave
It looks
action.
like if you go too far with the waves, they get... like you've got to imagine the swell being there, and I guess the problem here is our boats are so small that we're actually in the swell, you know?
Let's see.
I had a keel. It was the best keel.
Yeah, this is feeling a bit more manageable now.
It's starting to actually sit relatively well. Oh, I screwed that up big style, didn't I? The little adaptions adding together, hopefully.
Pretty much staying stuck here.
No, there's no question that's made my steering worse.
Like there's full turn for me. You can see how the front end's coming up as a result.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you see me go through the turns, I'm actually feathering my throttle on it because it's just this thing wants to lift up and over.
I had it set up in a way that outside of a couple of dodgy waves, it was happy to go through the turns at full throttle. I was trying to lighten it down and see if I could help things out a bit, but yeah, I made it worse. No other way of describing that. Right, noticeably worse.
Yeah, it was a pretty close to a miss there.
Oh god. Alright, we can... Well, I'd say this is a fun little mod. Definitely need to play around with it more, and I need to think now a bit about how do you transform this into a series concept that makes sense. You know? And
it's like
you know,
going
how do
back
you
to
make
the,
that water world, basically, which I think is what it's probably going to end up being. I mean, if there's ever been a way of making resources scarce, hard to get, and annoying, and making sure people fight over certain locations, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, because I mean, we haven't played around with going deep to the point of having to worry about crush depth, right?
Mhm.
So having that 500-meter limit there that you can't really go below, or you have to find a way to get around it.
And yeah, for anyone wondering, there is a pressure limit. Like, if you go down too deep, it will hurt. Well, Mr. Farrell, perhaps a little convoy out of here to win the evening.
Sounds good.
I'm just slapping unnecessary extra thrusters on, because that's what we needed. Okay. Oh, I'd have vectored thrust if I had the subgrid control mod on, but I don't. Hello, let's go.
I'd say go where, but can't really see where I'm going.
Oh, out towards the buoy, I guess. Oh yeah, I suppose I could just clear the weather. Hey, what? Wait for me!
Get out of here, stalker.
All right, all right.
And to clear the weather, it takes a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see that fight you're gonna win all the time because I'm pretty sure you're heavier craft, but
That wasn't intentional either.
no, hang on. Let's prove that this thing can still fly underwater here. Around.
Cool being able to see you underwater down there. Get up here, you.
Testing the ability of this to work as a submarine. Which, there we go. I'm at the beacon now. There we go. Self-righting mechanism.
These boats real good at driving in circles near people. Not great at actually staying near them. Whoop. Apparently caught a wave. Well guys, we're coming up on that 4 hours, and I should probably be sensible and actually do it. If you'd like to see more water mod shenanigans next week, let me know down in the comments. Maybe suggest some stuff for us to do. I'm kind of intrigued, if nothing else, by the idea of setting up, or trying to set up and build a scenario based around the idea of water world sort of scenario. Maybe full PvP, but I like the idea of maybe leaning into that water world environment as well. You gotta have your smokers. Oh, oh, Mr. Farrell. Been fun sailing with you,
Indeed.
for the most part. Times when we weren't upside down. Don't forget, if you want to check out Mr. Farrell, you can go and catch him out over on Twitch. Link is down in the video description. Same with Mr. Spacebar, even though he had to leave us a little bit early. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm just a little bit sad that I couldn't make a sailboat. You know, if anyone's got any hints on that, and like, if I've maybe got it wrong, and you can actually do it. Jet skis. Hell yes. Who's playing Kevin Costner? We might have to get Shaq in for that. I seem to remember he's got gills. Been a pleasure, guys. Till next time, we'll see you all soon.
Later.
And thank you, you kind folks who donated during the stream. Absolute pleasure. Later, folks. Won't be Vanguard next week, by the way, but it will be Vanguard back again the week after that. And yes, Twitch.